Okay. Hi guys, we are eJaw, the developers for Clear the Chips. We developed this web app to handle the finances for home poker games. Personally, I love playing poker with my friends. However, I hate being the banker. Keeping track of everybody coming in and out of games, how much they won and lost, and trying to count their chips is an absolute headache. With Clear the Chips, players join Kahoot-like game rooms. They can enter how much they buy in for and cash out simply by taking a picture of their chips. At the end of the game, the minimum transactions for everyone to settle up are calculated and sent out to each player. My name is Will Throm, and I am the backend developer for this project, and here's the rest of my team.
Hello, my name is Ethan Mick, and I worked primarily on the image recognition and machine learning for this project.
Hello, my name is Alexander Liu. I focus on the front end.
Hi, I'm Joshua Thomas. I worked on the back end and the front end, and now I transition into the architecture for our project. So for the hosting, we use Amazon AWS. We use EC2 and ECS for the containers. We had three containers, one for the back end, one for the front end, and then one for the models for our image recognition. And then we used AWS S3 for holding our image data. And then we use RDS for our database, which was a relational database. And then for our backend, we use Flask for our web service. And then we use OpenCV and PyTorch for our image recognition. And then we use Stripe API for the transactions and then the age verification. And then in the front end, we use React and then Tailwind. And then we also use AWS Amplify for the user authentication. And I'll pass it to Ethan for our demo.
Yeah, so as you can see on the screen here, there's two windows open up connected to our app. This is a logged in user, and this is one that just created an account. So kind of walking through the basics here. This is the home page that the user lands on when they log in, and they can input a PIN to join somebody else's game, or they can create their own game. Pretty simple. Here is the profile, and the main functionality here is keeping track of your chip cases. So this user already has a couple. And to illustrate this, we can create a new one here. We'll just call this test case. Essentially, we can just add different colors of chips and how many we have in our case. So we'll just add 4 here and add additional colors depending on what chips you have. So once we're done there, create the case. And now that we have that case, when we want to go and create a game, we want to bring our poker chips with us. So we select the case. And let's find our case. There we go. Give our game a name and click create game. And that brings us in here to the game room. And Will is going to talk a little bit about essentially how these values are calculated.
Yeah, just quickly on the chip value. So this is one of the main algorithms on the back end. As you can see, the chip values were calculated for the game room, and basically what's happening is it takes your set of chips, the colors you have and the amounts you have by color, and then it just goes ahead and determines which color should take on which value based on the stakes you're playing. So say you have a lot of green chips, you're going to want that to be one of the lower values because that's the value that's going to get used a lot in the game when you're making bets. Usually they're small bets. And then say you don't have very many black chips, you're going to want the black chips that you don't have very many to be a very high value that don't get used that often. So yeah, Ethan, back to you.
Yeah, so in this game room, the main functionality obviously is to buy chips or cash out. So I'll go ahead and show right now here. When you click buy in, you enter an amount of chips, and this is based on the values of your chips, obviously. So let's go ahead and do a little sample here. I've got an image that I'm going to use. So we're going to test an image with 3 blue chips and 2 green chips. And that image is, oh, where'd it go? Yeah, this is the image. So this is just a test to display it, but we need to cash in for 80 cents. So we'll buy in and then cash out. And this, essentially the user could scan their chips with their camera or upload them from their camera roll. And that's what we're gonna show here. So there's that image. They upload the image and then they submit it. And this does the image recognition through SageMaker, calling the endpoint, and pretty fast. There it is, 3 blue, 2 green. And so from there, we can go ahead and click enter, and that will cash us out. Displaying the other aspect of this, let's buy $3. So 3 black chips. Go to cash out. And here's the scanning the chips. So there's 3 black chips. This may not work perfectly because of lighting, etc. And this is a computer, but click capture, does the same thing. And looks like it misclassified a little bit, actually. Want to reset that. Let's try again. Okay, well, I got the count right, but you get the idea. So we can cash out here. There we go. And then let's go ahead and end the game. And Alexander is going to talk a little bit about some of the front end stuff that he worked on.
About the front end, we have the five background because we are playing gamble. We just think that everything should be cool. We should gamble in a gamble place or bet in Las Vegas. So the first page is just like imitate Las Vegas. And if you think it's boring, you can go to spaceship. Yes, you're playing a spaceship. That's much cool. Or castle. If you like a middle age. Or pool. If you just like a swimming pool, or just blue, something like that. So we use the ChatGPT to generate those graph instead of to get the graph from the website to avoid some copyright problem. And you still can use your profile from those avatars. There are 100 avatars, lots of the little head. You can, depending on your sex, your age, your color, you can choose the best one if you like it. And we have the 4 pages or the home page. You can enter the pin here or create a game. And you still can go to the profile page. Yes, you can check your chip case. You can go to the transaction page. That is the John Doyne give you $2 from May, August. And last page is sending page. So the name bar should be bottom. That will easily to control, just like use Android Note smartphone. So that's all of the front end things.
Cool. And then I don't know if quickly we want to just go through creating a game and then having the other user join and then showing the transactions. Can we do that, Ethan?
Yeah, we'll try and get that in real quick here.
Yeah. I'm gonna show kind of the joining game process.
Let's separate these. Okay. So we got the pin here, 71483. All right, here we are. Logged into that game. We want to go ahead and buy in. Oh yeah, and we can also see their specific chip values. So let's go ahead and just buy in for 5. And let's do the same over here. And then, imagine we're playing our game. Let's say John ends up taking let's say John ends up taking all the chips. He's going to cash out. And let's remember again here. Yeah, black is $1. So he's going to get all 10 black chips. And you can just enter it manually here. And he's going to cash out. And then she lost all her chips, so she doesn't get to cash out with any money. And then our game is over from there. So we can have this user leave. And then game's over. We're going to end the game. And then take a look at transactions, plus $5 from Jane Doe. And over here, minus $5.
Yeah, and just quickly on the transactions, that's the other kind of main algorithm on the back end. This is kind of a simple example between two people. But the nice thing is that the algorithm will basically find the minimum possible transactions. And the best way to explain that is basically say you have 3 people. So say I owe you, $5 and you owe someone else $5 and that guy owes me $5. Then the net transactions would be no transactions because everybody's just a net 0. And that's basically what this algorithm figures out is what transactions do we actually need? And that's what shows up in this transactions page.